In the pantheon of quiet luxury, two Italian houses stand as undisputed titans, each commanding devotion so intense that clients speak of them almost reverently, yet their philosophies diverge in fascinating ways that reveal the beautiful complexity of true elegance. To compare Loro Piana and Brunello Cucinelli is to explore not merely two brands but two distinct visions of what luxury should represent in the modern world, two different answers to the question of how quality, ethics, beauty, and commerce can coexist in an age of increasing scrutiny and evolving values. Both houses reject logos, embrace timelessness, and command price points that place them firmly in the stratosphere of accessible luxury, yet the experience of wearing each, of understanding their origins, of participating in their respective universes, differs profoundly in ways that matter deeply to their devoted clientele. This ultimate face-off examines not which brand reigns supreme, for such judgments miss the point entirely, but rather which philosophy aligns with your personal values, lifestyle, and vision of what clothing should accomplish beyond mere coverage and warmth. The foundational stories of these two houses reveal divergent origins that continue shaping their identities today. Loro Piana traces its heritage back to 1812, 6 generations of family expertise in sourcing and processing the world's finest natural fibers, establishing the company initially as a textile merchant before evolving into a luxury brand. This deep material knowledge, this obsession with fiber quality that preceded any interest in finished garments, remains embedded in the brand's DNA, making them perhaps the world's foremost authorities on cashmere, vicuna, and other precious natural materials. Brunello Cucinelli, by contrast, emerged only in 1978, founded by its namesake in the medieval village of Solomeo after he witnessed his father's humiliation working in a dehumanizing factory environment. This origin story of humanistic rebellion, of creating employment that dignifies rather than degrades, infuses every aspect of the brand with philosophical purpose beyond product excellence. The material sourcing approaches showcase both houses' commitment to supreme quality while revealing different priorities. Loro Piana operates its own supply chains with almost obsessive control, owning or partnering directly with sources of the world's rarest fibers. They maintain exclusive relationships with Vicuna herds in Peru, Cashmere goat cooperatives in Mongolia, and merino sheep stations in Australia and New Zealand, ensuring first access to the finest raw materials before competitors even see them. This vertical integration allows unprecedented quality control but also enables innovation like their lotus flower fabric and storm system weather-resistant treatments. Brunello Cucinelli sources exceptional materials as well, though with perhaps slightly less emphasis on absolute fiber supremacy and more focus on how those materials serve humanistic design vision, prioritizing fabrics that drape beautifully, age gracefully, and feel wonderful throughout extended wear. The design philosophies diverge in subtle but significant ways that devoted clients immediately recognize. Loro Piana embraces radical simplicity, creating garments so refined they border on architectural minimalism, where the fabric itself provides all necessary interest and decoration becomes superfluous distraction. Their aesthetic celebrates the natural beauty of materials presented with minimal intervention, allowing cashmere, vicuna, and silk to speak for themselves through impeccable construction and perfect proportions. Brunello Cucinelli, while certainly refined and understated, incorporates slightly more design elements, subtle textural contrasts, tonal variations, and artisanal details that reference Italian sartorial heritage, creating clothing that feels simultaneously classic and gently contemporary, traditional yet modern. If this deep exploration of luxury's finest houses resonates with your appreciation for true craftsmanship, consider subscribing to Lux Eternal and activating the notification bell to support our continuing investigation of excellence in all its forms. The pricing strategies position both brands in rarefied territory while revealing different value propositions. Loro Piana commands extraordinary prices, with their vicuna pieces reaching $10,000 or more for a single sweater, justified by the material's extreme rarity and their supply chain mastery. Even their more accessible cashmere carries premium pricing that reflects their position as the supplier many other luxury houses purchase from, meaning you pay for cutting out the middleman and accessing the source directly. Brunello Cucinelli's pricing reaches similar stratospheric heights, though the justification differs slightly, emphasizing not just material excellence but the entire philosophical package, the humanistic employment, the cultural restoration of Solomeo, the spiritual dimension of creating beauty as a form of human dignity. The cultural narratives each brand projects differ dramatically in emphasis and sophistication. Loro Piana maintains relatively quiet brand storytelling, allowing their materials and heritage to speak largely for themselves without elaborate philosophical frameworks or marketing narratives. Their message is simple and powerful: we source the world's finest natural fibers and transform them into the best clothing possible. Purchase accordingly if you appreciate such things. This restraint appeals to clients who prefer brands that do not preach or philosophize but simply deliver uncompromising quality. Brunello Cucinelli, conversely, embraces elaborate storytelling around humanistic capitalism, regularly invoking philosophers from Marcus Aurelius to Kant, discussing beauty, dignity, and harmony as business principles, creating a rich narrative ecosystem that customers either find deeply meaningful or occasionally excessive depending on temperament. The retail experiences reflect these philosophical differences in tangible ways. Loro Piana boutiques emphasize material tactility, inviting customers to touch, feel, and experience the extraordinary fibers that justify premium pricing, creating spaces that celebrate texture and natural beauty through minimalist presentation. The shopping experience focuses on material education, with staff extensively trained to explain fiber sources, production techniques, and quality indicators that differentiate their offerings. Brunello Cucinelli stores incorporate these material elements but add layers of cultural storytelling, often featuring books, art, and references to the humanistic philosophy, creating environments that feel part boutique, part cultural salon, inviting customers into a broader lifestyle vision beyond mere clothing purchase. The versatility and styling considerations reveal interesting practical differences. Loro Piana pieces often work beautifully in corporate and formal contexts, their radical simplicity translating as serious elegance appropriate for business meetings, fine dining, and professional environments where understatement signals competence. The clean lines and neutral palettes integrate seamlessly into conservative wardrobes, making them favorites among finance professionals, lawyers, and executives who need polish without flash. Brunello Cucinelli, while certainly elegant and appropriate for similar contexts, sometimes incorporates slightly more relaxed, sprezzatura-influenced styling that reads as cultivated leisure rather than business formality, appealing perhaps more to creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and those whose work environments permit greater sartorial expression. The gender approach at each house merits examination. Loro Piana maintains relatively traditional gender distinctions in their collections, though with increasing crossover in certain categories like outerwear and knitwear, creating pieces that work across traditional gender boundaries when sizing permits. Their approach tends toward classic masculine and feminine archetypes executed with supreme quality. Brunello Cucinelli has increasingly embraced more fluid gender expressions, particularly in recent collections, creating pieces that transcend traditional categories while maintaining sophisticated elegance, reflecting perhaps the brand's humanistic philosophy applied to evolving gender identity expressions in contemporary society. The sustainability positions differ in emphasis, though both houses demonstrate genuine commitment. Loro Piana focuses heavily on natural fiber sustainability, supporting traditional herding practices, protecting rare animal populations, and ensuring their supply chains enhance rather than exploit vulnerable ecosystems and communities. Their environmental story centers on preserving the sources of their precious materials for future generations through responsible stewardship. Brunello Cucinelli emphasizes human sustainability equally with environmental concerns, creating employment that allows workers to live with dignity, restoring historical buildings rather than constructing new facilities, and positioning beauty creation as inherently humanistic and therefore sustainable at philosophical levels beyond mere environmental metrics. The investment value consideration reveals both brands hold value exceptionally well in secondary markets, though with interesting differences. Loro Piana pieces, particularly those in Vicuna or other rare materials, maintain remarkable resale value due to material intrinsic worth and the brand's supply chain position, making their pieces genuinely difficult to replicate. Their classic designs ensure continued relevance, and their quality construction allows decades of wear, making them sound investments beyond mere fashion considerations. Brunello Cucinelli pieces also maintain strong value, supported by the brand's consistent aesthetic evolution that never renders previous seasons obviously dated, though perhaps with slightly more variation in secondary market performance depending on specific style and season. The celebrity and visibility dynamics show interesting patterns. Loro Piana has achieved remarkable recognition in recent years, particularly through social media exposure and celebrity adoption, with their baseball caps and other signature pieces becoming status symbols among those in the know. This visibility has expanded their customer base while potentially complicating their quiet luxury positioning as more people recognize the brand. Brunello Cucinelli maintains perhaps slightly lower mainstream recognition despite comparable quality and pricing, which some devoted clients appreciate as preserving the brand's exclusive feel, though the company has also seen growth through word of mouth and influential customer evangelism. The longevity and durability represent core strengths of both houses, with pieces regularly serving their owners for decades when properly cared for. Loro Piana's material quality and construction ensure extraordinary lifespan, with their cashmere actually improving in some ways through early wear as fibers settle and soften further. Pilling remains minimal even after years of use, seams stay strong, and fabrics maintain color integrity remarkably. Brunello Cucinelli pieces demonstrate similar longevity, with construction quality ensuring structural integrity across years and materials maintaining their essential character even as they develop the patina of beloved garments worn frequently and cherished deeply. The accessory and complementary product ranges show both brands extending beyond core apparel with different emphases. Loro Piana has developed extensive accessories including their famous summer walk shoes, luxury travel goods, cashmere blankets, and home textiles, creating a comprehensive lifestyle offering built around their material expertise. These accessories often provide entry points into the brand at more accessible price points while maintaining quality standards. Brunello Cucinelli offers accessories as well, though perhaps with slightly less emphasis on creating standalone accessory businesses, keeping focus primarily on apparel and treating accessories as wardrobe complements rather than separate product categories. The cultural associations each brand carries differ subtly but meaningfully. Loro Piana reads as perhaps slightly more establishment, more old money, more associated with traditional wealth expressions like country estates, sailing, and genteel sporting pursuits, reflecting their British-influenced aesthetic and heritage textile positioning. Brunello Cucinelli projects perhaps slightly more contemporary sophistication, appealing to successful entrepreneurs, creative industry leaders, and those who have achieved wealth through innovation rather than inheritance, though both brands certainly attract diverse clientele across these somewhat artificial distinctions. The future trajectories of these houses under current ownership structures merit consideration. Loro Piana, now owned by LVMH since 2013, benefits from massive conglomerate resources, expanded retail footprints, and sophisticated global distribution while apparently maintaining the quality and aesthetic standards that built their reputation. Some purists worry about inevitable brand evolution under corporate ownership, though thus far changes seem largely positive in accessibility and consistency. Brunello Cucinelli remains independently controlled by its founder, ensuring philosophical continuity and protection from short-term profit pressure, though raising questions about succession planning and whether the brand's humanistic vision can survive its visionary founder's eventual departure. The ultimate choice between these two paragons of quiet luxury reduces not to objective superiority but to personal resonance with their distinct visions. If you prioritize absolute material supremacy, radical simplicity, and centuries of textile expertise, Loro Piana likely speaks your language. If humanistic philosophy, artisanal details, and conscious capitalism resonate more deeply, Brunello Cucinelli probably aligns better with your values. Most sophisticated consumers ultimately own pieces from both houses, recognizing that these represent not competing alternatives but complementary expressions of excellence, each perfect for different moods, occasions, and dimensions of a life lived with attention to quality, beauty, and meaning. In the final analysis, both Loro Piana and Brunello Cucinelli transcend mere fashion to offer philosophies of living, ways of engaging with material culture that honor tradition while embracing modernity, that celebrate beauty without ostentation, and that prove beyond doubt that luxury at its highest levels is never about logos or trends but about excellence so profound it requires no announcement whatsoever.